Welcome to the Stuff and Things Podcast, your home for all stuff related to your favorite things in entertainment. Now, here are your hosts.
Hello and welcome to the season finale. This is the Stuff and Things podcast, and this week I am delighted to say I am joined by not one but two co-hosts. First, the returning man himself, we have Sam.
Hello, mate. You all right?
I am good. It's good to hear your voice on this podcast again.
Oh, thank you very much. And a big thank you to everybody who sent me the messages to get well soon. Still not there yet. I am still recording from my sick bed, but I'm doing my best. But thank you for the messages. I appreciate it.
And also joining us is Kaylee.
Hello!
Hey, how are you doing?
I'm glad it's done.
You enjoyed
Really?
it though, right?
I did. Yes, I did.
That's fine then.
I did.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Had to make sure.
Mostly.
I'm going to have fun doing this. Sam, we are talking about Season 1, Episode 9, and the title was...
Look for the light.
Ah, bollocks, I was hoping to catch you out. Damn it!
Never.
Oh no, he actually does his research for these shows. This is why the shows
Oh,
work
yeah.
better with Sam. Where do we start with this, guys? Do we kind of start through the episode, or do we just go straight to the wow, what a season?
Well, as the host of the show, I kind of feel that that's your prerogative. And then what you do is you decide what you're going to do and then ask us questions.
You know how I said I've missed you?
Yeah, I know it wouldn't last.
I can change my mind. Okay, let's start with the beginning.
Yeah.
So the beginning of the episode, we get a flashback, one of Sam's favourite things.
Yay.
Although I'm pretty sure this was actually quite a good flashback.
It was.
It explains exactly what has happened and to why Ellie is in the place that Ellie is in now. So that's always a good start. I like that. That's a good start. A fun bit of trivia, because you know I like it. It was, of course, Ashley Johnson who played Ellie's mum, Anna. And Ashley Johnson was the actress for both the voices and the motion capture of Ellie on the games themselves. So,
Excellent.
I thought that was pretty cool. Ellie played Ellie's mum.
She also did a funny Instagram post of her in full costume, pregnant, and she tagged Bella Ramsey as the belly.
No way.
She did. Yeah.
That's brilliant. That's brilliant. I like that. What did you guys make of this opening? We'll start with Kaylee, because she probably cried. How did you find the opening?
It was brilliant, and I'm so glad they did it because I've been waiting for it, and I'm glad we got to see her mum. I've been waiting the whole season to see if we'd finally see her, and the second Ashley Johnson opened her mouth, I knew who she was. Not because of the game or anything like that, but she's in a film I used to watch over and over again years ago when I was younger. And the second she opened her mouth, I just thought, oh my God, it's her. And just absolutely brilliant casting. Like, she is perfect.
Yes.
For Bella Ellie's mum.
Yep.
Spitting image, brilliant, genius. But yes, I did cry.
You did cry. What bit?
I think we got to, I think we
Cry
got
meter
to
is set to 1. There we go.
Yeah. But no, it was really good. I think it was more brutal perhaps than I was expecting, and actually it was horrible to see, what happened to her ultimately, but she still had the sense to kind of be, aware of the potential risks and stuff. So it's very well done. I really liked it. Very distressing to watch, but it was good.
Sam, your thoughts?
As everybody who listens knows, when it comes to flashbacks, I'm like, yeah, give me more, baby. But I've always said, and I've always tried to caveat it, but when there's a purpose and there's a reason for the storytelling, it makes sense. And with this, I thought it made perfect sense because it gave us an origin story for Ellie. It gave us an origin for her immunity. Also, the fact her mother clearly lied about cutting the umbilical cord,
Yes.
which was, I think, kind of important. But also, I was wondering if anyone else saw the parallels between Ellie and Blade.
No.
Marvel character Blade,
Yeah.
mother bitten by a vampire, gave birth to the Daywalker.
Of course.
I'm just saying that Ellie's the chosen one. That's all I'm saying.
Well, now you say it, I can see it, but it didn't even cross my mind. But I get it now. Now you pointed it out.
Total fucking nerd. That's why I wrote it down. But yeah, that was one of my notes. Blade origin story revisited is what I wrote.
Nice.
But yeah, no, I liked it. And I'm also probably just because of my state of mind at the moment, I like the brutality of it as well. Because it's just the kind of the world in this world, The Last of Us. It is a terrible, 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 messed up place.
Yes.
And she has begged her friend to take the baby, save the baby, and also begged her friend to kill her, which she does. It's sort of one of those, I like shows that ask questions of you, and I often try to put myself in the character's position. Could I do that? And there are definitely some of my friends I could find easier to shoot than others.
I'm glad you've mentioned that, actually, because I have got that in my notes to ask you both. Could you have done what Marlene did?
Yeah.
And it turns out half your friends, Sam, would say yes.
Well, yeah. So, certainly today. I mean, it can change. I mean, it can vary. But there's one or two today that I'd take out, and they probably wouldn't have even asked. It might have just happened. Like, oh, do you mean you didn't want me to do this? But I don't know. You always try and put yourself in the character's position. It would be difficult. You know, all joking aside, if you have an emotional attachment to someone, even if you know they're about to go through something painful, to be the person to actually end their life is still a hell of an ask.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a difficult one.
What about you, Kaylee? Could you, if you were asked to, could you do it?
I don't think I could have done it in that moment. I think I would have found it easier had she turned already. So in Ellie's case, when, you know, it was her and Riley, that may have been easier. You know, it's the fight or flight response. But just to still be, in air quotes, normal, no, I wouldn't have been able to do it.
Fair play.
Yeah.
Fair play. What do you think as well? There's a similarity here between the beginning of the episode and the end of the episode, where they tell the lie, but they tell the lie for the right reason. Do you think, like with the whole, I was bit after I cut the cord to save Ellie's life, and at the end of the episode, Joel lies to Ellie to kind of keep her. It's not so much to keep her safe in that one. I don't know, but you know, there's a
it is to keep her safe, because the lie told originally was to give her a chance at life.
Yeah.
She wouldn't have known. She would not have known if the infection had got to her. She would not have known what the effects would be. So her mind, to her, the only chance her baby has is for Marlene to take her.
Yeah.
Now, if that baby had turned and tore Marley a new one, she don't care. She's already dead. But she wanted to give her baby a chance, so she lied to do that. And then at the end of the episode, like you said, is part of the reason why I like the flashback, because it does bookend the episode nicely, is again a parent figure, someone acting as her father, has told probably one of the most ultimate lies to, again, keep her safe and give her a chance at life. Because I think he knows that she'd possibly make the decision to go back herself.
I like it. No, I think that's good. So, in this episode, we do see that Ellie is... I think Ellie is definitely suffering from the events that happened in the previous episode.
Oh, massively,
You can see her character is a lot more withdrawn, and Joel ends up telling her to get the book of jokes out just to try and kind of get her going almost.
Yeah.
As they make their way into the hospital. So we
sorry, mate. I just want to say the scenes where Joel is working hard to just try and keep her going. Mm-hmm. I really love them because there's something about that. He would have recognized the mental place she was in.
Yep.
And they even have a conversation, where he confesses about where he got his scar from.
Yes.
And that whole segment of him just trying to pick her up, lift her up, none of it worked. Like none of that was none of it being jovial, talking about Boggle, talking about food. Nothing was working until he actually had a heartfelt moment, confided in her. And I think she said something like, time heals all wounds, huh?
Yeah.
And he was kind of like, no, it wasn't time. You healed me.
It wasn't time that did that. And he looks at her, yeah.
Yeah, so between that and a giraffe, that's all you need.
Oh, man, we've got to talk about the giraffe.
That was cry count 2 and 3, by the way.
Excellent. Love that. I've actually got a fun fact about the giraffe. Can I give the fun fact about the giraffe? In the scene where Ellie is feeding the giraffe, there are only 3 things in the scene that is not CGI'd.
Yes.
That's the 2 actors and the giraffe.
Yeah.
Everything else was CGI.
How amazing is that?
I know, and my favourite thing is online people are criticising how unlifelike the giraffe looked, which cracked me up.
Oh, so that's exactly the same. So, as you guys know, I watched this with my wife and her parents. We sit down on a Monday night and watch it. All 3 of them went, giraffe doesn't look that good, does it? And I'd already seen someone put about the giraffe already. And I was like, no, it's a real giraffe. And my wife's like, no, it's not. I was like, wait there. Let me ask Dr. Google 1 second. Look, there it is. The giraffe is bloody real. Now, the giraffe itself is actually, that's another really nice take from the game, the giraffe thing as well.
Yeah.
And as soon as this happened, I'm kind of there going, oh, God, I know what's next. Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah. There we go.
Yeah, another silly fun fact that I saw online, which I think is kind of nice. One of the original game developers in that scene, you'll notice there was like a Little League scoreboard, like a baseball scoreboard in the background.
Yes.
He named the field, like the field for baseball, after his wife as a nice little nod to her in the game.
Oh.
It was a complete throwaway thing in the game years and years ago, a little Easter egg that you could just show his wife when the game was developed and published.
Yeah.
Well, they put it in the show, and he had no idea. Oh, so he's watching the show live with his wife, and he sees it come on. Yeah.
And he's
so
like,
that was kind of nice.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah.
Yeah, so that guy got brownie points twice over, and he didn't even have a clue for that.
That's awesome.
Legend.
I'm just going through the pictures on the show now, trying to see if I can see the scorecard. I can't in these pictures.
Right there, the scoreboard. Yeah, sorry, I can't remember the name on it, but I just saw the guy went to Twitter. Like, this was an amazing thing. Just sat watching.
Such a nice little
all these years later, like this tiny little detail I put into a video game.
Bethany Jane Porter, maybe.
Yeah.
Or something. I've just seen it on there. I'm just about to see it. That's really cool, actually.
Yeah, there you go.
Well done, sir. Well done.
See,
that is a get out of. That's for getting an anniversary or 2 in the bag, isn't it?
That guy's he did well for Steak and BJ Day, definitely.
Did you forget our wedding anniversary? Maybe, but I did put your name in like the #1 show of 2023. So
yeah.
You know, balance it out.
So on your knees. Yeah. Sorry, go on. What a
Sam's back.
Sam's back.
Lowering the tone.
Between Kaylee swearing constantly and now Sam lowering the tone, you can tell we're back to our full squad.
Yeah, definitely.
You'll be glad, Sam. You'll actually be very glad just saying that Kaylee has most certainly picked up the ante for swearing whilst you've been away.
Oh,
I really good. I'm sorry.
No, I have been listening. It actually, because it's kind of funny because you messaged me and said like, wow, Kaylee's salty language. And I listened to this podcast and I was like, she's not a swore. I don't know what's going on. And there was something right at the very end where you asked her opinion and she fucking went off, man. And I was like, oh, wow. Okay.
There it is.
There were genuinely sailors listening to our show were blushed. It was unbelievable.
Oh, it wasn't that bad. Fuck's sake.
Oh, come on now. Don't just say fuck for fuck's sake. Fucking hell.
That's my F-bomb for the day.
That's your one. Yeah, the only one that ever gets us in deep trouble is a C-bomb, so please keep an eye on that.
Oh, I don't say that.
Oh, I don't say that. Yeah.
It's my favourite word, but I'm not allowed to say it on the podcast.
No.
I think I did it once, and Sam paused the podcast and had a go for it, so I haven't done it since.
I did. You've got in a lot of trouble. It's because it's the only thing that we've ever had a complaint about that was upheld on Apple, and they removed our show for a week.
Yeah, not allowed to do it again.
Yeah, no.
So let's carry on. Let's carry on with the episode. They finally do get to like the army barracky sort of place that they're getting to.
Yeah.
And they're walking through, and it looks very deserted. And then all of a sudden, the guys come around the corner, flashbang grenade is thrown, and from this moment on, this episode kind of takes a turn. Massively takes a turn.
Yeah.
We have started with the really kind of nice, them kind of building that relationship together, the father and daughter sort of thing. And then we get the giraffe, which is a really nice moment. And then we get a flashbang and crack. Joel is hit in the back of the head. Bella is out cold. Joel is out cold. And we wake up and we are now inside what looks to be a fairly fully running hospital. There's hospital beds. He's in a hospital bed. There's armed guards at the door. What are you guys thinking at this moment?
Well, to be honest with you, I recognised Marlene pretty quickly.
Yeah.
So realised it was the Fireflies. They then had that conversation where she seemed genuinely blown away and impressed that he'd made it. I guess at this point
as well, because she seems genuinely surprised he's made it. Yet she's already bloody there, and she couldn't take Ellie with her because she didn't think she was going to get there.
Well, she said like how many of them died, didn't she?
Yeah.
She said like I came here with like a unit of I don't know how many, and like so many people died.
Yeah.
And I mean you've got to remember as well that she probably went straight there, whereas Joel was off looking for Tommy, stayed there, went all around the houses. The thing that I guess the thing with this scene, and Kaylee will come in after me, I'm sure, is how quickly it went south.
Yeah.
Because there was a moment of, oh, thank God it's the Fireflies, and because they were apologising, like, look, we didn't know who you were, so sorry, how's your head, get up carefully. So it was all kind of like, oh, okay, it's the right people, it's the team, it's nothing bad. And then it just went south so fast with the realisation that they think to find a cure, they have to kill her.
Yeah.
And I was just like, holy shit.
Yeah, it goes from very nice to suddenly very serious like that,
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, like my reaction was like, and because the other thing is, I think there was a small line she said, which was, "Don't worry, we've sedated her and we didn't tell her, so she didn't worry."
Yes.
And I'm like, well, wait a minute, you're literally you're murdering this girl, to hopefully create a vaccine, but it is a hope. You are literally going to murder someone on a hope, not on a kind of anything else. So yeah, my kind of shock at that, I think at first, like at that realization, followed very quickly by me really dwelling on what the hell would I do. So yeah, that's where I was.
Okay, Kaylee, go on, your turn.
Yeah, it really took me by surprise. It really wasn't the direction I thought it was going to go. I don't know why I had assumed that they would have good intentions for Ellie. I genuinely thought that it wasn't going to be a brain thing. They'd synthesize her blood. I don't know if that's the right word, but for Marlene to be so calm about it was really, really terrifying. I think that's the only word I can use to describe it. She was so calm, and it all just felt like it was the most natural thing in the world that they were going to cut this girl's brain out to save all these people, with no regard for, her friendship at that point with her mum, and, thought about what Ellie had been through. She made the comment about, like Sam said, you fought to get here. How did you do it? So she knows she's, that she's a tough girl.
Yeah.
But none of that mattered. It was we're going to disregard all of that, and she is going to save the world. That's her purpose.
Kaylee, did you find it even more kind of like ice cold and kind of shocking, considering the flashback, considering she was literally her mum's friend, brought her into the world, and then she's just got no hesitation at all to kill her. There's no Joel has developed this attachment over the time they've been together. Surely there must be some emotion there, and she was like a robot.
Well, you as a normal human being, you would think that, but we didn't actually see at what point Marlene gave her or put her in the Fedra school. If she had that baby for a day, 2 days, she's not going to have formed that kind of emotional attachment. It's my friend who's dead's baby. I've got no relationship to her. So I think that's kind of, there's a veil almost. She's got no relationship with her. If she had raised Ellie and, Ellie had run away, she'd had her with her for the past 12, 14 years, might have been different. But she was ice cold, absolutely ice cold to the core.
So you've kind of touched on something I've got in my notes here, actually. Because we see that Marlene takes Ellie as a baby, literally like moments old, and takes her away. But then when we go to the flashback between Ellie and Riley, we know Marlene is part of the Fireflies, and Ellie is like 100% Fedra at this point. The Fireflies are a propaganda kind of establishment, which tells me that Ellie and Marlene have had kind of no real relationship, Ellie growing up. Otherwise, surely Ellie would be kind of prime Firefly, like officer or something,
Well, Ellie doesn't know Marlene, does she? Marlene's it's not a common name. The second Riley kind of mentioned her, she'd go, "Oh, yeah, I know her." She raised me until before and then gave me up. There was none of that.
No, exactly. So it means that these two, obviously, like Marlene must have given Ellie away, considering she made to promise to make sure she was safe. Marlene, by the sound of it, has gone straight back to the nearest Fedra camp and gone, poof, there you go.
There's a baby,
So you're right. Joel shooting her in the face was justified. I'm glad we've established that.
Before we get to Joel shooting Marlene in the face, now this is a mission that I do remember well from the game, because the game is just as brutal as the next few scenes are. Joel is walked out, and he is told, right, do you know what? We're going to take you to the door. We'll give you your bag and you can fuck off. Like, you are done here. You're done. See you later. Bye-bye. Now, I know I've played the game, but I'm guessing you two at the same time had the realisation of, well, that is not going to work.
Well, it's funny because there was no way, knowing the show out of season 2, that Ellie was going to be killed in my head.
Yep.
So I knew that Joel was going to have to go back in and get her. I don't think I was quite prepared for the one-man commando unit ripping through the Fireflies.
Yeah, this was a mission in the game.
I think the thing that I enjoy about good TV is when it's asking questions and asking you to make decisions. Like I said, you putting yourself in those situations.
Yep.
I think in that exact situation, the vast majority of people would try and protect the person they love, try and protect their family being blood related or acquired.
Yeah.
However, when you take that step back for a moment which is probably where Marlene was, you're actually weighing one life against the planet.
Yeah. No, we're going to get to that. We're going to get to that because I feel like that's going to be quite a discussion.
Yeah.
What we see first is, like you say, Joel takes his time, gets to the right area, manages to get the better of the two guards, and as you say, one-man army rips through. I mean, I think you said in the last podcast about Savage Joel. This was next level. This was every single person he's murdered. No one's left alive.
Yeah.
No one's left alive. He goes for it.
No.
There's a couple of little bits as Mike is on Discord. I know he played the game as well, and I'm sure he would have enjoyed this. There's a couple of little details during the Savage Joel going through part that I absolutely loved. The main bits being that every now and again, or quite often, he has to change gun.
Yeah.
This in the game is such a big thing because there was, in that mission, there's only a small amount of ammo in that whole bit. So quite regularly, it is kill someone, take their gun. Kill the next person, take their gun. So to see them add I've said it a few times in this, like the last 9 episodes, but watching them just add the small little details like that, as someone who has played the game, that was such a little nod and a smile, kind of like, oh look, he's got one. The rifle's out of bullets. Oh, he's picked up the machine gun. I know that's only.
Do you think, having played the game, obviously when you're playing a game like that, there's a risk that you as the player will die. You're not going to just go bang, 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 bang and get all those people in one go like Joel did in this scene. Mm-hmm. If if one of them gets you, you have to kind of, is respawn the right word? I don't know. But you kind of, you restart. So that impact of that kind of brutal moment, is that kind of lost when you're playing the game? Because I wouldn't get past the first person if I was playing it because I'm crap at playing games. So I would just keep dying over and over again, and it would kind of lose that big bang impact, I suppose.
See, the way I played the game is I try my best not to die in games. Unless I'm playing Call of Duty with Sam, in which case dying is what we do best.
I'm fucking jinx. Sorry.
We're not together. But when I play games, like when I played The Last of Us, the idea was to try and get through it without dying, basically. So when I play that sort of game, whereas Joel went full brutal, just taking everyone out, I would have played the game a little slower, kind of using a lot more of the barriers to kind of... Just call me a pussy, but get slower.
It might have slipped out.
Yeah, I would have got a lot more hiding behind things and shooty. Whereas Joel just straight up murders everyone. Now, he does make it to the room where Ellie is. There's a doctor and 2 nurses in the room. Now, I've got a question for both of you on this one. Okay? The apocalypse has been we know it's been about 20 odd years, don't we? Between the day everything fell and now. That doctor was possibly maybe in his 30s?
Yeah.
Now, the comment I saw online was how well... it was actually, Sam, it was on your TikTok video.
Yeah.
Yeah, the comment was about, if the apocalypse has been around for 20 years, how well trained would that doctor actually be for performing brain surgery?
Yeah.
If he was only maybe in his early teens, maybe even a med student, at most a medical student, if not in his teenage years when the world fell apart. So actually, Joel was correct because the doctor had no idea what he was doing.
I think we can make that assumption that we can feel that Joel was correct. But on the flip side of that, Joel didn't know who the hell that doctor was when he walked in the room. It could have been a 60-year veteran. It could have been a team of people who are the leading scientists in the world who the Fireflies have put together. Joel was going to kill him anyway.
I feel like, Joel already had the trigger pulled before he walked in the room.
Yeah. The fact that the guy picked up a scalpel, literally the definition of don't take a scalpel to a gunfight, buddy. Yeah.
So
apparently, one of the nurses was from the game as well. I saw that being shared around quite a lot, but I don't know anything about that.
Wait a minute. Let's have a look, see what I can find.
So whilst you're looking for that, I think the whole brutality of that entire scene, from the second Joel picked up that gun to the second he put that bullet in that doctor's head, the switch for me made it so impactful because he was so calm at the beginning that it just. It's not very often that I'm lost for words when I'm watching a program. You know, I'll chat the whole way through and be like, "Oh, look at that!" But the second he picked up that gun and the first shot on those stairs, I was like, "Oh!" because it was so quick.
Kaylee, I mean, all three of us are parents. Can you put for a moment, and this is where I kind of try and put myself in the character. Can you imagine one of your kids being in that room and they're about to kill him? You know, you talk about that switch, that kind of, he just like switched and went.
Yeah.
I mean, I think I can speak for all of us. We're going to walk through walls. We're going to walk through people. We're going to go through them to save our child. And that was what I saw. That was an instinct of a parent. You know, we saw in the end of the last episode, he called her baby girl, just like he did his own daughter. It is clear to anyone he is now feeling that level of love, attachment, and responsibility. So him, you know, I think I again on the TikTok we did just at the start of the show, she was cargo. Remember? Now he's literally ready to burn the world down to save her life. And that's being a parent. You know, I'd do anything. You would, Stefan would. So it's kind of like that flip, that moment when I saw that, I was like, here we go.
I think
because there's
the difference between how Joel reacted and how I would react. The only thing that would be different is that split second where he's got that rationality, that sense of mind to be rational. Thinking about, I need a plan. I'm going to look at the sign on the wall, find pediatric. I know where I'm going. Me, well, frenzy. It would just be a frenzy, and all hell would break loose, and I'd probably just end up, you know, they'd just kill me. I wouldn't have that moment to kind of gather myself. I'd just be off.
The thing with Joel is we know he has that capacity for that. You know, over this 20 years, he has had to develop a kind of nasty side to him, which he kind of switches in and out of when he needs to. And I felt in that moment it was like the switch got flipped, and he's just ice cold. He's not thinking of them as people; they are obstacles. Like he thought of Ellie as cargo; they're just obstacles. And the way of detaching himself to do that just makes it more brutal, really.
But did you think that actually the difference between him attacking those people who are still human versus him attacking people who have been infected was different? It was a different level. You know, he's got
there's actual hatred there. That's why, because they're trying to hurt Ellie.
There's a purpose to what they're doing.
Yeah,
and that made him.
We discussed it before. The people who are infected are the equivalent of an animal. Can you be angry at an animal for biting? Not really. It's a nature thing. Can you be angry at the infected for acting that way? No, not really, because they are infected. Can you be angry at fellow human beings murdering a young girl? Yeah.
Yes, you can. Yeah.
Sorry, Stefan.
No, I'm here. I am listening. I completely agree. I do completely agree. You were right. Laura Bailey played one of the nurses.
Yeah.
In The Last of Us and in The Last of Us add-on to the first game, she played just played additional voices. And in part 2, she played the character Abby.
Okay.
And she also played the Black Widow in the Marvel Avengers video game as well. She's clearly a very, very talented voice actress because she's been in everything from Family Guy and American Dad to My Little Pony, Call of Duty, Star Wars. She's done World of Warcraft. Like, she's been in all sorts.
Do you know that's a job I've always wanted, by the way?
A voice actor, I'd love to.
Yeah, genuinely. I think I'd be great at it.
Only because you can do every accent known to man.
I can, yeah. But I'd be great at it. You just hire me and I'd be like a cast of 10.
Yeah.
Yeah, 10 times the pay though. Yeah.
So like we've discussed the fact that, you know, we can understand exactly why Joel has done what he's done. Now we have to look at the flip side of it. Has Joel just doomed the entire world for one person?
It's impossible to answer because we have no idea if their stupid idea would have worked. As we discussed, we got, you know, the science behind this is a guy who would have been qualified at best 10 years when the world fell. And we got no idea. You know, they literally could have killed her and then gone, yeah, shit, we can't do anything. So yeah, they had a theory, they had an idea, but you've got no idea. But also, you've got no idea if other people exist like this. This, you know, the world's a big place. It would seem the odds of it are probably low, but that doesn't mean it doesn't exist.
Low
it also doesn't
zero.
mean there aren't.
Yeah.
Exactly. So also, knowing the history, you could possibly horribly replicate this. But it's just a case of, I always love playing devil's advocate with these things, as you know. I'm a bastard for it.
Yeah.
So just to play devil's advocate with it and just say that she was the last hope and this is the only chance for humanity to survive, then Joel has made a ridiculously selfish decision. And this is the classic trolley problem. I don't know if you guys are aware of this, but there is a very classic psychological test and everything, which is called the trolley problem, which is a trolley as a streetcar, if you like, a tram. And there are 6 people on one track, but on the other track, there's one child. Do you take you can only go one way or the other. Do you kill the 6 adults or do you kill the one child? I love problems like that because it's a real kind of mess with your head.
Oh, yes.
And I think we could bounce around on this subject forever and still not actually reach a definitive conclusion, because I don't think I have. When the episode ended, I was confident that I felt that Joel did the right thing. Within an hour, I was confident that I think he'd fucked up. Within another hour, I'd changed again. I like that.
I'm very steadfast in my decision. I didn't change my mind. I haven't changed my mind.
You think he was wrong?
It's a completely and utterly selfish way of thinking, but putting myself in Joel's shoes, he did the right thing for him.
Can I ask a follow-up, Kaylee?
Yeah.
Right. So if, for example, the decision was my child would have to be sacrificed, I couldn't do it. Kaylee, if the decision was you, if it was you with the immunity, so put yourself as Ellie, you can save all of humanity, it is your choice. Does that change things for you?
No.
So you would choose to live on yourself rather than save the whole of humanity. Wow.
And I tell you why. And I said, this is a really selfish position, right? In Joel's mind, he's 50? He's got a finite amount of time left. Ellie can go on without him. In Ellie's position, after everything that she's been through and after the way that fellow humanity has treated her and the way that they've challenged her and they've hunted her, fuck them. I'm going to live for myself. In real life, I'd probably feel different. But in this scenario, no, absolutely. Sod everyone else. They're all absolute assholes to each other. There's no rule. It's, mob rule at this point. They don't deserve to get a cure. So I save myself and I'm going to go and live on a sheep farm and go to the moon.
I love that detail. I love that you just added that.
I know. I feel like I wanted to argue my point, but after that, I'm kind of like, do you know what? Actually, even looking at real life, when people were having punch-ups over loo roll during COVID, I'm like, yeah, do you know what? Actually,
yeah, maybe you don't deserve it.
Maybe it happened for a reason.
It wouldn't be so bad, but it wouldn't be so bad, but they'd have killed her, created a vaccine, and half the people wouldn't have taken it anyway. No, you've developed that too fast. You've done that within 20 years? Not a chance, mate.
Yeah.
The vaccine gives you, headaches, not taking it.
Yeah, it's got a microchip in it. Fedra wants to control us.
Fedra, yeah.
Oh, dear.
Well, we just lost a few listeners in the text.
Yeah. Wait for the comment.
Sam at stuffandthangspodcast.com if you want to.
Yeah, it really is. Fucking bring it on. I have got nothing to do, but I've got nothing but time, and I will answer every fucking one of you. Bring it.
Oh, dear. So, the thing this brings us...
Before we move on, what would you do? What's your take on it? You've heard from me and Sam. What's your thoughts?
If it was one of my children, not a hope in hell. If it was me, I would do it, but with certain stipulations.
I'd also like to present evidence to the jury that on several times he has talked about sacrificing at least one of those children to the gods. So I think this could be one of those depends on what day it is kind of things.
Yeah. Did the kid wake up at 5 o'clock or 7 o'clock?
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
Was it a weekday or was it the weekend? Yeah, no. I don't think I could do it if it was one of my children. If it was me, myself, I would. However, I would want a rather large statue made of myself. And to have been known as the saviour of humanity. I want that in history books. Purely egotistical. Yes. I would save the world.
Saint Stephen's Day.
Exactly. I would save the world, but my God, I want everyone to know I did it.
They called it Stephen's Saviour Day. Yeah. Well, that's fair. Another thing that's kind of interesting... Sorry, mate. Another thing that's kind of interesting is also, we talked a little bit a moment ago about Joel's evolution with Ellie and the relationship.
Yep.
If Joel had got there faster, he probably would have left her to die.
Yeah.
She was a cargo. He'd have just dropped her off and left.
However, he didn't realise, and we, as the audience, we didn't realise that it was her brain that they wanted.
Also wouldn't have asked. If you think about it, you would have just left her there. Like, here you go, kid. You've arrived at your destination. I'm off.
I don't know, Dee. I don't know. I think he's had that softness in him the whole time. I don't think he even at the beginning he would have been cold enough to just go, here you go, here's a kid.
No,
I don't think
I'm with Sam. I reckon if it had been the first 3 episodes or so, I reckon it would have been a case of, all right, see you later, kid. Bye.
I was about to make a Pedro Pascal hardness joke after you said softness, but I decided that might blow a few people's minds because he's already the daddy of the internet, and I don't think I want to add to that meme.
No,
isn't he just?
Isn't he just?
Yeah, he was on Graham Norton not so long ago. I saw a clip of it today, and Graham Norton was showing him some of the tweets and stuff, and he really lent into it. But I think now he's absolutely fucking sick to death of being known as daddy.
Well, it's kind of, it made me laugh because they showed this thing where he did an American talk show and they put him on a lie detector.
Yes.
And in this lie detector, they asked him the question, if he's ever feeling low, does he look up fan accounts? And he went, yes. And they made him name which account and everything. And he's just like, oh no. And you could see he was genuinely mortified that they called him. So do you ever feel low about yourself? Do you look up accounts that are dedicated to you? He's like, yes.
Yes, I
it just makes you wonder how many people do that. It's like, oh, I feel a bit crap today. Oh, look, there's an account you're dedicated to how wonderful I am. Perfect.
I got turned down for that job I wanted. Oh, wait a minute. Pedro Pascal Hot 1 on Instagram. Hey! I feel better now. Yeah. I don't know if that's a real Instagram account. Please don't go search it. It's not me.
Yeah.
Okay, so I guess the thing we need to talk about now is the other moral dilemma of
a lie.
Ellie waking up in the car and asking what happened.
Yeah.
Now, Kaylee, you first. Would you have given the same answer that Joel did, or would you have told her the truth?
I would have said almost word for word what Joel said. You do not put that kind of pressure on a 14-year-old child to have the weight of the world on their shoulders like that. Absolutely not. No matter how dire the situation, no matter how mature they might seem, they are not worldly enough to make that decision. I would have done the exact thing.
Sam, same question to you. Would you have lied or would you have told her?
Do you know what? Kaylee has just completely swung me. I think Kaylee's completely right. I would have said tell her the truth because of the journey they've had together, and my worry would be that a lie would drive them apart. I hadn't thought of it from the point of view of, you're quite right. It would literally have been saying to her, you're the only hope for humanity and you have to die for it, which would have just put pressure on her. And his lie relieved her of that. So actually, Kaylee's just swung me. It's a good job you went to her first, or I'd have looked stupid.
I must have said, I am in the same boat as both of you. I think that the lie itself was
bloody copycat.
I know, right?
Get your own opinion, dude. Get your own opinion.
I think he lied to save Ellie the weight of the world being on her shoulders. And she does seem like a very mature sort of person. But she is only like 14, so...
Yeah.
Can you just imagine? I always refer... I know Logan, he's a couple of years younger than Ellie, but when we watch this show, you know, they're about the same age, you know. And I just think, if I asked Logan that question tomorrow and he was in that situation, he would break. And I would never, ever put a child in that situation. And anyone who says differently is an asshole. Just saying.
No, fair enough.
Okay, and again, I've got nothing but time. Address your concerns to Sam at stuffandthangspodcast.com. Fucking bring it.
So yeah, that's it then. That is the end of the episode. They get to what he calls home, and they are going to live their lives together. Luckily for people that haven't played the game, they are already kind of sorting out season 2. If you did play the game, you'll know that you had to wait 7 damn years for the second part to come out. Luckily,
So Kaylee, I'm going to put this to you. I never played the game, either game 1 or game 2. I, however, saw from a game developer of the second game laughing my ass off at all the people sad and shook by season 1. Just so you know, that's the happy season.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. That's what.
Well, I need some time to recover.
Well, we're going to get that because the earliest they're going to start shootings later this year. So we're not going to get it until probably late 24, early 25.
Yeah.
That's fine.
I've just seen. So again, we've got our own Discord, as everyone who listens to the podcast knows. We have our own Discord. It's on our socials. Feel free to join in. Mikey B145 put, "Just be prepared. It's a ride. Ha ha. If you thought the first season was depressing, Jesus Christ." So
just to be clear, we may not be picking up season 2 on the podcast.
Yeah, I haven't played the game yet, but I will be playing it before the season comes out because
I'm thinking we just leave it. We end the show. We do a headcanon where we go lived happily ever after, and we just stop.
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
We'll be doing season 2. We'll be doing it.
All right.
However, that is all of my notes. Do you guys have anything else to add?
Nothing from me, good sir.
Katie?
No, other than I think I will be cautious about taking recommendations of shows to watch from people in the future. I've learnt my lesson. However, I did enjoy this season, and it's not something I'd usually watch. And for all the complaints on social media about there not being enough zombie action shit going on, actually, if it had been like that, I wouldn't have watched it. So I'm quite glad that there wasn't.
Well, there we go. I think me and Sam are together when we say our next recommendation is Ted Lasso season 3's just started. Just binge watch.
That's true.
Just binge watch that. It's fine. It's a lot. You know.
My current recommended viewing for everybody is Ted Lasso, because it's a show which seems to just be about football, potentially boring, but it's really not. Trust me.
It's amazing.
And another show on Apple TV called Shrink. If you've not seen either of them yet, please do. They're brilliant.
But yeah,
there you go.
That is us wrapped up then. That is the first season of The Last of Us done. Thank you everybody for listening. If you do want to get in touch and leave your thoughts about this season or any other shows that we do cover, feel free to get in touch. Obviously, it's Sam at stuffandthangspodcast.com. We are on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, TikTok, and the Discord as well. All the links are on our social medias or on the website. All that's left for me to say is goodbye for myself and Kaylee. Time to say goodbye.
Bye.
And Mr. Samuel, say goodbye.
Goodbye, everybody.
Swear to me that everything you said about the Fireflies is true.
I swear.
Okay.
Thank you for listening to the Stuff and Things podcast. We hope you enjoyed the show. You can find us on Facebook or online. Simply search the Stuff and Things podcast to join in our conversation every week.
There we go, guys. That is us done.